गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरदारी गोपी जना गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरदारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Radha Madan Mohan Radhe La 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 Subhadra Jaya Sudarshana. Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च. श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च. नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः. Welcome all of you for the Bhagavatam class this morning. We are reciting from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 9th chapter, text number 4. Tasyapi hava atmajasya. I'll make it bigger for you. Viprah putra snehanubaddha mana asamavartanat samskaran yathopadesham vidadhana upanitasya cha punah shaucha cha manadin karma niyaman anabhipretan api samashikshayat anushisthena hi bhavyam pituh putrena iti tasyapi hava atmajasya vipra putra snehanubaddhamana asamavartanat samskaran yatopadesham vidadhana upanitasya cha punah shaucha chamanadin karma niyaman anabhipretan api samashikshayat anushisthena hi bhavyam pituh putrena iti synonyms. Tasya, of him. Apihava, certainly. Atmajasya, of his son. Vipraha, the Brahmana father of Jada Bharata. Mad, crazy Bharata. Putra Sneha Anubaddhamanaha, who was obliged by affection for his son. Asama Avartanat, until the end of the Brahmacharya ashram. Samskaran, the purificatory processes. Yata upadesham, as prescribed in the Shastras. Vidadanaha, performing. Upanitasya, one who has a sacred thread. Cha, also. Punaha, again. Shaucha achamana adin, practice of cleanliness, washing of the mouth, legs and hands, etc. Karma niyaman, the regulated principles of fruitive activities. Anabhipretan api, although not wanted by Jada Bharata. Samashikshayat, taught. Anushisthena, taught to follow the regulative principles. He, indeed, bhavyam, should be. Pituhu, from the father. Putrena, the son. Iti, thus. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. The Brahmana father's mind was always filled with affection for his son Jada Bharata, Bharat Maharaj. Therefore, he was always attached to Jada Bharata. Because Jada Bharata was unfit to enter the Grihastha ashrama, he simply executed the purificatory process up to the end of the Brahmacharya ashrama. Although Jada Bharata was unwilling to accept his father's instructions, the Brahmana nonetheless instructed him in how to keep clean and how to wash, thinking that the son should be taught by the father. You see, it's not that anybody can marry. Before marriage, training is required. For example, when Prachetas were 10 sons of Daksha Prajapati, when Daksha Prajapati called his 10 sons and said, "My dear sons, I want you all to take up the kingship, get married and take the rule of the world." So what did he tell them to do? Did he tell them go and find out from Shadi.com a match and get married? He said, first go to forest. What for? Control the senses. Purify the mind. Stay in the Gurukula. Get purified. And then come back. Get married. Then take the kingship of the world. A boy or a girl first has to be trained to control the senses and purify the mind. A girl is trained by her mother how to clean, how to wash, how to cook, how to be submissive to the elders, how to unnecessarily not agitate others, and cover one's body, and not behave loosely with anybody. Be chaste and be pure. And in this way, become very cultured before her marriage. Similarly, a boy is sent to the Gurukula. Brahmachari Gurukule Vasandanto Gurorhitam Acharanda Savannicho Guru Sudrida Sauhridaha. The boy should live only for the pleasure of Guru, going and collecting firewood and bringing, cleaning the ashram, milking the cow, getting some alms and coming. Even if you are even if you happen to be son of the king of Delhi, still one should live in the ashram of Guru, wearing a very simple dress, doing menial services. So there is no any scope for false pride. And there is no scope for loosely mixing with the opposite sex. One should control one's senses, and one should sleep early and rise early in the morning. No scope of sleeping till 10 o'clock. One should rise early in the morning and then greet the deities, chant the holy name, study the shastras, contemplate on the ultimate pure goal of life. So in this way, after a boy qualifies as a good brahmachari, if he has a desire to marry, then he was allowed to go to Grihastha ashram, second ashram. Some boys will stay brahmachari and not marry. Some boys will want to marry and they are allowed to marry. Next ashram. That's what he is saying here. So the father was trying to prepare Jadabharata to become a good brahmachari so that he will be qualified to accept hand of a girl, which is called as Pani Grahanam. Pani means hand, Grahanam means accept. A father is ready to give a boy his girl, give his girl to a boy, provided he sees that the boy is of character, boy has devotion, he will be responsible, he will take care of my daughter for his whole life properly. Then only he can hand over his daughter in marriage to a boy. He cannot just take any boy and hand over the girl. Nowadays, many fathers are asking, how much is your salary package? They only see the maintenance. They don't see the character. They don't see the culture. They don't see the devotion. That is also very important. So, therefore, Jadabharata's father wanted to first train him. Purport, Srila Prabhupada. Jadabharata was Bharat Maharaj in the body of a Brahmana, and he outwardly conducted himself as if he were dull, deaf, dumb and blind. Actually, he was quiet, alert within. He was internally awakened and externally pretending to be dumb, dull and deaf. Like that. Jai Shri Radha Madhuri Mohan ki. He knew perfectly well of the results of fruitive activity and the results of devotional service. You see, there are two paths. Path of fruitive activity means you do karma kanda yajna so that you accrue punya, go to heaven. When punya is over, you come back to earth. So that's what many karma kandi brahmanas do. But he was not happy with that path. On the other hand, devotional service is the path of the Paramahamsas, where the devotees do Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam and 9 Navavidha Bhakti they do. And then in this way, the pure devotees become dear to Krishna and they go back home, back to Godhead. So he wanted to follow the eternal imperishable path of Bhakti Yoga. He didn't like the Karma Kanda path. In the body of a Brahmana, Maharaj Bharat was completely absorbed in devotional service within. Therefore, it was not at all necessary for him to execute the regulative principles of fruitive activity. You see, in this world, Lord Krishna told Uddhava, Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyeta yavata matkatha shravanado va shraddha yavan najayate. He is saying, Matkatha shravanado va shraddha yavan najayate. If somebody has not developed a firm faith in my holy name and holy pastimes of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Till that point of time, you have worldly duties, he's saying. Huh? But once the firm faith has awakened, you don't need to do Navagraha puja, this puja, that puja. You know, there are people who may go to Shani temple and say, Shani, please don't look at me. Instead, you can say, Krishna, please look at me. If Krishna looks at you, nobody else can look at you and trouble you. Krishna is above everybody. Vedasya sarvair ahameva vedyo. So a devotee of the Lord is not surrendered to anybody other than Supreme Lord Krishna. And that takes care of everything else for the devotee. Just like in a village, you will see there is a pond for bathing. There is a pond for drinking water. There is a pond for worshipping the Lord. There is a pond for washing clothes. There is a pond after passing stool, urine, you can wash your back. There are many separate ponds. But if there is a flowing river, you don't need multiple ponds. One flowing river will take care of everything else. So Krishna is like that flowing river. And all the other devatas can only give you little. One devata can give you one thing, another devata can give you another thing. But when you surrender to the Lord Krishna, everything else is taken care of. That is Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. So Jadavarata wanted to practice that pure Shuddha Bhakti to Lord Krishna. And he was happy with that. He was the Paramahamsa. Already he has done devotional service in the previous lives. So he was very happy in that. But his father was not aware of his internal state of consciousness. Bharata, he thought, let me train my boy. So his father wanted to see that he sits with him and learns Karmakanda Vedas. Therefore in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Shabda Brahmati Vartate, he says, which means people who are Paramahamsas, they transcend the Karmakanda type of, Karmakanda is aimed at material commodity collection. Performing different pujas for getting different things, either wealth or harvest and things like that. So, as confirmed in the Bhagavatam, Swa Anushtitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. One has to satisfy Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the perfection of the regulated principles of fruitive activity. Besides that, it is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Dharmasvanushtita Pumsam Vishwaksena Kata Suyaha Nautpadayet Idiratim Shamayeva Hi Kevalam. Duties, dharma executed by men, regardless of occupation, are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the Supreme Lord. In this world, 4 types of action people do: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. The goal of all the 4 is to please Lord Hari and awaken love for Lord Hari. Otherwise, all these actions are useless, he says. These karmakanda activities are required as long as one has not developed Krishna consciousness. If one is developed in Krishna consciousness, there is no need to execute the prior regulative principles of karmakanda. Srila Madhavendra Puri said, "Oh, regulative principles of karmakanda, please excuse me. I cannot follow all these regulative principles, for I am fully engaged in devotional service." He expressed the desire to sit somewhere beneath a tree and continue chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Consequently, he did not execute all the regulative principles. For example, when I used to do Sandhya Vandan before coming to ISKCON, sometimes Sandhya Vandan would take you 45 minutes because there are a lot of preliminaries to be done. Mama Apartha and all those things. Keep the hand and Pranaya Swaha, Panaya Swaha, Vidana Swaha, Vidana Swaha, Samana Swaha, Brahmana Swaha. So many chanting you do, so many Achaman, purification you do. The whole preliminary procedures, then the Gayatri chant and the procedures which follow afterwards. Put together it will take you 45 minutes. And 3 times a day I used to do before. Pratha Sandhya, Madhyana Sandhya, Sayam Sandhya. But once you come to chant Hare Krishna, we still chant Gayatri. We chant 7 Gayatri mantras, we chant. In ISKCON, we are given 7 Gayatris. There is a Kama Gayatri, there is a Gaur Gayatri, Guru Gayatri. There is also Brahma Gayatri also we do. That takes 45-6 minutes only. But then we chant a couple of hours holy name. So the Gayatri chant acts as a catalyst in giving us Brahminical qualities. And the Brahminical qualities alone cannot take us back to Godhead. We need love of God to go back to Godhead, which is given by Hare Krishna mantra. So we do both. So here you find that there are many such rules Brahmanas follow. Sometimes the Karmakanda sacrifices may take 6 hours also, certain things. So he did not follow those things. He was simply happy chanting the holy name. Consequently, he did not execute, he says. Huh? All the regulative principles. Similarly, Haridas Thakur was born in a Mohammedan family. From the very beginning of his life, he was never trained in the Karma Kanda system. But because he was always chanting the holy name of the Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted him as Namacharya, the authority in chanting of the holy name. As Jadabharata, Bharat Maharaj was always engaged in devotional service within his mind. Since he had executed the regulative principles continuously for 3 lives, he was not interested in continuing to execute them, although his Brahmana father wanted him to do so. So, some people visit different places, like they go for Char Dham Yatra, they go to Kedarnath, they go to Badrinath. So similarly, you find some people frequently visit various temples, which is very nice. They are very pious and very religious. But are they also working for purifying their heart? Is a question mark always. Many times, that is why you can see Jadabharata. Actually, the theme of this purport is very, very important. I am speaking on this topic today. Break bondage by avoiding bad association. If you listen attentively to this, you will be saved from so many dangers. I always have been thinking of speaking on this topic, both for my self-purification and for the benefit of others. I found this verse very suitable. See, this is a summary of this verse. Despite being born in a Brahmana family, Jadabharata, who was formerly Bharata, he behaved like madman, dull and blind and deaf. Is it why? The reason is here. To avoid worldly association and protect his bhakti from distractions. Internally, he was absorbed in remembrance of the Lord's lotus feet, constantly hearing and glorifying. I gave you an example some months ago. Once I was going in a train, sitting in the berth, and my assistant was calling me down. Please come down, there is one Tamil family speaking Tamil. They are all Tamil people. I said, shh, don't tell. And I didn't speak one word in Tamil because I was studying Bhagavatam. I wanted for a personal time for studying Bhagavatam. So it was like 20 hours train. So I told him, don't tell them that I speak Tamil. So when I came down, they asked me some question in Tamil and I responded in Hindi. Then they kept quiet. Why did I do that? Because if I speak in Tamil, then there will be a lot of prajalpa. They may speak about this, that, so many things. But I wanted to save time for studying Bhagavatam, so I spoke in Hindi. Then I went up again, I studied. Before the station came towards the end, last half an hour I came down and spoke to them in Tamil. They were surprised. You never told us. If you knew before, we would have taken all your time. I knew that, that's why I didn't tell them. So, where did I learn this from? Learn from Jadabharata. From Jadabharata we can learn how to avoid unwanted association. So we have to be very attentive. We should be very careful. See the power of remembrance. That's the first thing. There are 4 or 5 themes are their main themes. I'll try to quickly present. See this power of remembrance. Jadabharata, it is mentioned in this shloka, he had the inner life of Shravana, Smarana and Guna Vivarana. He was always remembering, hearing about the Lord, remembering the Lord and describing Lord's glories. So his internal devotion was completely independent of external behavior. Externally he appeared like dull and deaf and dumb. Was he a foolish person? World thought he was a foolish person. They didn't know who he was. Like Lord Shiva, he lives in graveyard, wears the ashes on his body, has a snake around his neck, wears some animal skin, and the ghosts and spirits who live in the graveyard, they wonder, hey, who is this person? Just like we are living in the Smashan, he is also coming and living. Maybe he is one of us, they think. Little do they know that he is a Paramahamsa. Vaishnavanam Nata Shambhu. He goes there not to live there with them, he goes there to deliver them. Just like Srila Prabhupada went to America to deliver the hippies, isn't it? So externally, Lord Shiva may appear to be sitting in the Smashan, but his goal in going there is to purify them and give the ghosts the human body and deliver them. Similarly, here it is said Jadabharata appeared like a dull, deaf and dumb man. but internally he was awakened. So his remembrance was so deep, it says that he could recall his past lives. Many of us may not remember our past life, but we can remember our past activities in the current life, at least, correct, no? We can remember what kind of life I was leading before coming to ISKCON, and after coming to ISKCON, how my life got transformed. Those who remember that, they can only be grateful to Guru, grateful to Vaishnavas, grateful to association. Sometimes we become so dull-headed that we have no gratitude, we behave like a stone. That's because our consciousness has not become developed. When consciousness becomes fine-tuned and developed, it becomes very pliable and soft and moldable, just like the china clay. Consciousness becomes, so the consciousness can actually be grateful by what we have received. And the result of gratitude is commitment, dedication, discipline, surrender. Everything else will follow by that gratitude. So, therefore, your internal devotion can be totally independent of external behavior. Don't look at a person externally and judge him. Today morning, when we were attending Mangalarti, I was looking at one person. You'll be knowing in the front, he was an old man with a stick in the hand. How many of you have seen him dancing? Yeah. See, when we go on Harinam, when we go out, he is so... Actually, I was thinking if any of us were in his position, it will be a little difficult for us to be so ecstatic like him. How many of you agree? Correct, no? How much we will be worried about our body. Now, I have a hunchback, I have to walk like this, this body is shaking, some disease or something. Our whole attention will be on the body. But this fellow is completely oblivious to the external surroundings. He's so happy in the Arati. I doubt, healthy people, can they be so ecstatic like him in Arati? Even with a good hand, body and everything. So therefore, don't judge people by their external appearance. They may be great devotees. They may look externally. Generally, we judge people, oh, he's a very popular person, he's a famous person, he's a wealthy person, and all that we think. We go by the externals. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had X-ray vision to see through people and see the Krishna conscious spark in the hearts of the people. He saw one old Varisan lady and said, look at her, how much eagerness she has in seeing darshan of Jagannath. He saw one South Indian Brahman in Srirangam. And he said, look at this Brahman, he may not pronounce Sanskrit so well, but when he looks at Bhagavad Gita, he remembers Parthsarathi, Lord Krishna, who is Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayak, who is becoming a charioteer of his own devotee, and he cried tears. Mahaprabhu said, you have attained perfection in your life, he told him. So we have to learn from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu how to not see the externals of people, but see through the people and see the Krishna conscious spark they carry. So, in this verse it is said, Anusmrita Swapurva Janmavalihi. So, he was remembering, he was granted a memory of past lives by, what is that? Can you move it? See, he was granted memory of past lives by Bhagavat Anugraha. By Lord's grace, he had Anusmrita Swapurva Janmavalihi. Janmavali means series of lives. Purva means previous. Anusmrita means he was able to remember his past lives by Bhagavad Anugraham. Such remembrance is not common. It's a gift. Why the Lord gives that gift of previous remembrance? It protects the devotee to be more serious. Say for example, even in this life, there are boys who have never touched a cigarette even once. Why? Because the moment he goes to touch a cigarette, Lord gives the smriti. In your previous life, you smoked cigarettes and you died because of cancer. Why are you again touching it? So the super soul gives remembrance, then they develop a fear for it. So that healthy fear is good. So he was also given remembrance of the previous life. Like Lord says, Matta Smritir Jnanam Apohanam, isn't it? So, yeah. So we have to see Shravana, Smarana, Guna Vivarana. These three words are used in this shloka. The hearing about the Lord, remembering the Lord, glorifying Lord's qualities. And that protects us. Not only it uplifts us from karma bandhana, it also awakens love for God. So therefore he was absorbed in thoughts of Lord's lotus with Charanaravinda Yugalam. He was remembering. So like you know this famous verse in the beginning I was reciting, Srinvatam Swakata Krishna. Yeah. So these things are about one point only mainly, power of remembrance. See, the more we study the Srimad Bhagavatam and remember the Lord, our subtle body gets dissolved. See, gross body will anyway be dissolved at the time of death, but the subtle body also is dissolved. Jarayatyashi kosham nigiranam analo yatha. Like that, Lord Kapila is telling, just as gross body is burnt to ashes, subtle body also will be burned away by reading Bhagavatam with great enthusiasm. Now somebody may ask, what is the advantage of dissolving the subtle body? Say, I have a gross body now. If my subtle body is dissolved, then I will act as a soul only. That means we don't have the television of subtle body. If television of subtle body is a big distractor in spiritual life. Imagine you have a television or a smartphone with you, that can be very distracting. If the smartphone is taken away, your distraction is also taken away. So the subtle body is a big distractor for a progressive soul in the path of spiritual life. Because subtle body has dualities, Sukha, Dukkha, Shita, Ushna, Mana, Pavan. They always keep distracting us. But when one does this Shravana, Smarana, Guna, Vivarana, by this the subtle bodily distractions are finished, one rises above the Dvandvas. That happened to Jarabharata, power of remembrance. Then the second point is about the fear of bad association is explained here. He was Brisham, Udbijamanaha, the word is used. He was greatly disturbed by the idea of associating with non-devotees. So, if you read this series of verses, we can learn many specific words used in these verses. What was consciousness of Jadabharata? Actually, his fear is not a sign of weakness. In this world, people will laugh at you if you say, I am afraid of bad association. They don't know, say you're walking on the road, there is an electric wire lying on the road, and you're walking barefoot. Will you keep the foot on that? Somebody says, I don't fear, I can keep my foot. Yes, you can keep your foot. It will give you a shock and it will throw you off. You may die also. Intelligence means not to put your feet on that. Correct, no? So having a fear for a live wire is a sign of intelligence or foolishness? Sign of intelligence. That's called healthy fear. If somebody says, say you are standing in the 10-story building, if you have guts, jump off, let me see. You tell him, if you want to jump, you jump, I am not going to jump. So we should have healthy fear in life. So that's not a weakness. That was a sign of spiritual intelligence. Because he knew how easily one could again fall down. Anything that can make us fall down, we should not entertain it. One should be very cautious and careful. Any association that will make us fall down again, like there are so many advertisements, there are so many movies, there are so many type of games, there are so many types of distracting things in the social media. So if one is intelligent, one will have a healthy fear to avoid them. Like one boy wrote to me 5 pages email telling all his problems. And he was telling that, Prabhuji, I feel like committing suicide. Can you please tell me, either you give me blessing for committing suicide or give a solution. I told him, all these problems you have written, they are all coming only from your smartphone. I said, throw away the smartphone and take a keypad phone. He told me, Prabhuji, that is one thing I cannot do. Any other instruction? He is asking. I asked him, why do you waste my time? You asked me, I read your mail, I am giving a solution. So you will see that the living entities are adamant in holding on to sense gratification. One example is given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. One man was very tired and very hungry, a beggar. So there was a tree, slant tree like this. So he lied on the tree like this, with both hands like this and both legs falling like this. He was embracing the tree and sleeping because of hunger. One man came and gave him this puffed rice. Take the puffed rice. So embracing the tree, he accepted the puffed rice like this. Now he wanted to eat it. He didn't know how to eat it. The hand is going like this. So that man told him, you take off yourself, from the tree and show your hands like this, I'll give you. He said, no, 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 that I cannot give up, he said, because my stomach is empty. I am pressing my stomach against the tree. If I take off my stomach, it will cause too much of burning and pain, too much of hunger. Therefore, I am lying in the tree. You give me like this only. But if he accepts the puffed rice like this, will he be able to eat it? No. That's the situation of people. Many boys, girls come to temple, they want Krishna consciousness, but they are not ready to leave sense gratification. They are holding on to it, saying, give it, still you give it, no problem. Give it, give it. Main dekh lunga. Somehow I will eat. They are getting Krishna consciousness, they are not able to enjoy it, relish it. So, we have to find out what is bad association for me, and we should be ready to throw it off. We have to be intelligent like Jadabharata. Here the healthy fear, that was a spiritual intelligence. So he disguised himself to avoid praise, flattery, social entanglement. He knew that if he stays with his father and, father teaches all the Vedic chant and everything, he will get entangled in this world. That's why he wanted to. See, there are many, the Raghunath Das Goswami, actually you will see that Raghunath Das Goswami, he was born in a stinking rich family, but he was untouched by bad association. You can see that. Haridas Thakur appeared to be born in a Mohammedan family, but he was always absorbed in chanting the holy name. He kept himself aloof from bad association. So, see, there is in this series of verses you will see, there is a Swajana Sangha is explained, which is when the deer was born in Kalanjara mountain. Did he stay there or did he go anywhere else? He didn't stay there. He left Kalanjara Parvat and he went to Pulahashram. Why? What is the reason? In Pulahashram, there was Tapovanam. In the Tapovanam, daily there were Bhagavatam classes like this going on. So the deer thought, if I stay in Kalanjara mountain, I will eat nice food, I will become plumpy, and I will do sense gratification, and again I will be reborn, again and again. But if I go to Tapovanam, there are many rishis, munis are sitting and studying the Shastra, they are chanting the holy name, there are kirtans going on, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Manusmarana, all those things. So he thought, I'll get good association. So then he left his place of birth. In place of birth, we get some comforts, correct now? You have your network of people whom you know, your uncle, your aunt, your cousins and all those things. You can hang around with them, just enjoy life, but you will forget Krishna. But he left that place and went to another place where there are saintly persons coming. So it's very important that we intelligently make a choice of going to those places where we will be purified and uplifted. When I was a small kid, my mother always used to take me for bhajans. So when you go for attending the bhajans and the bhajanai madam, you get association of very saintly, advanced devotees. They are chanting, dancing, reading Ramayana, Mahabharata. Their contemplation is all pure and spiritual. So then we get an opportunity also to partake of that association. So once you make the choice where to go, then the second thing is association. If you go to a bad place, you will get bad association. If you go to a good ambience, you will get good association. So, therefore, the Swajana Sangha is valuable when your Swajanas are all pure devotees. For example, if a boy or a girl, their home is a very favorable place, daily morning Mangalarati is happening, chanting is happening, study of Bhagavatam is happening, and then evening there are programs and mother, father are very active in Krishna consciousness. It's a very good place for advancing in spiritual life, isn't it? But when that is not the case, then one should go to those places where we can advance in spiritual life. So nowadays, geographically traveling may be not always possible. That's why we have online forums, Zoom Japa, Zoom classes and all those things. So that is also good association one should take. So therefore he was avoiding any unwanted social interaction. You can see in our life, we often fall due to emotional or social pressure. We should be very cautious. What is social pressure? Sometimes everybody is doing something which is popular, but that's not the right thing to do. Correct, no? Huh? Like for example, they made a lot of sweet rice. Everybody was already given one glass. Now everybody is taking second glass and third glass. They are saying, see, we are all taking, you also take. Is it good to take? Two, three, four glasses. Huh? So you will see certain things are popular in this world, but if you also go with that, then you will get addicted. Hmm. Many people want company and doing wrong things in this world. They want company. So you have to decide what you want to do in life. That's what is called as peer pressure or social pressure. Hmm. So, like for example, we should not eat outside. But sometimes people say, see what to do in this situation, I am eating, you also eat. Because sometimes when you do a mistake, you want company also. So that we can say we all jointly only did. Isn't it? So that's why he's saying, don't come under the emotional pressure of somebody. Yeah. So think about this point. Do we maintain associations that weaken our Krishna consciousness? So each of us can do one homework. When you take a paper and pen, we can write down what are some of the associations that are helping me to go closer to Krishna. What are other associations in my life? It can be bad ambience. It can be bad association of some person. Person, it can be a person, it can be ambience also. And it can be a habit also. Three things. Ambient. Ambience means place. That this is a temple ambience. Correct, no? And then cinema theatre is another bad ambience. That is ambience. Then people also. Duryodhana, bad association for Karna. And Krishna is a good association for Karna. So it's an association of persons. And then association of habits. What are the bad habits I told you? Unnecessary scrolling, entertainment media, or playing video games, you know, or watching some adult content. All these things are bad association. And what is good association? You take up some activity, just like go for joint book reading with Prabhupada books, with devotees, or join the Rath Yatra and things like that. So one has to cultivate good habits, avoid bad habits. One has to cultivate good persons association, avoid bad persons. One should go to spiritual ambience and avoid bad ambience. These three things, you'll remember this? Habit, and then persons and ambience. So, though we all can, if you make a survey, you will see some of the things that you are getting spoiled by is very likely that some bad association we are taking unknowingly. Yeah. See, Vaishnava description means humility and caution, not showmanship. See, Bharat Maharaj didn't advertise his spiritual level. He feared pratighatam. It may be obstruction to bhakti. Why? If you are going to tell about your advancement in bhakti, then we will become very boastful and proud. When we become proud, then we will lose it. And the Shastras say that if you do some charity, with right hand you do charity, left hand should not know it. It is said. One should secretly do it. So, because once you show people that I am a very charitable person, then we may become proud and we lose the value of that. Similarly, we should not unnecessarily display our spiritual achievements. Quiet sincerity is safer than loud spirituality. So now we may have a question. I am distributing so many books, should I announce or not in the morning? Like one time I saw some devotees were announcing the score in their spiritual master's name. Like somebody was telling that yesterday His Holiness Bhakticharu Maharaj distributed 150 books. I was wondering, when did Maharaj distribute? Maharaj went back to Godhead. So some devotee distributed, but then he gave it to his spiritual master. But I won't say you do that. Why? Because sometimes you give away the score to Guru, but you are feeling very morose inside. That I do distribution and I am never putting my name, and I am following this too strict standard of not putting my name. Everybody else announcing their name and I am not getting any encouragement or pat on the back. So later on we may feel bad about it. But then what the use of getting discouraged? We need encouragement. So let them announce your name. If somebody comes to praise you, oh Prabhu, you distributed this book, so great. You can say that I didn't go alone, I went with other devotees, they taught me how to do it. I am also learning now, and things like that you can say. But here, why is it saying about quiet sincerity is safer than loud spirituality? The reason I will tell you. There was one devotee who was doing Nirjal Ekadashi. So, if somebody will give him bananas, he will say, Nirjal, he will say. हम कुछ नहीं खाते एकादशी के दिन. So, one devotee is giving banana to everybody. What he can do? He can take it, keep it in the cupboard, next day he can take it. But why you should loudly declare you are doing Nirjal for everyone to know? It's called the loud spirituality. And he will go around asking everybody, Prabhu, are you Nirjal or Sajal or you are Falahari or Dugdahari? Ekadashi day. And he will tell everybody, you want to know my standards? Last 5 years Nirjal. Like that he will say. So, going around and advertising about one's detachment, renunciation, is it good? Not good. That should not be done. That's what he is saying. So, Jadabharata was not going around telling, please all of you know I am a Paramhamsa, that's why I am behaving like this. He thought Krishna knows who I am. I have to be recognized by Lord, not by anybody else. And see, this kind of attitude of Jadabharata is very favorable for karma bandha vidvamsa. This word, where does it come? Divyasargadi kartritvam brahmarudradi mohanam bhakta prarabdha vidvamsam. And this comes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bhakta prarabdha vidvamsam. The Supreme Lord completely burns down all the karma bandhana of the devotee. Which devotee? A devotee who is doing this hearing, remembering and describing the Lord. If you are doing Shravanam, Kirtanam and Guna Vivarana, when we do this and internally we become awakened and absorbed in the Lord and we give up bad association, then Lord becomes grateful and appreciative. Then He completely destroys our karmic reactions. In this way, it is not just externally giving up the world. External giving up the world is called renunciation. But more than renunciation is liberation. See, there's a difference between giving up something and losing taste for it. Correct, no? Like some devotees were eating meat before. Now they've given up meat. But imagine in one of your relatives' house they are making this chicken or mutton or something they are making. If you go there, will you be tempted by it? You won't be tempted. That means you have lost the taste for it completely. On the other hand, say one of you was asked by the doctor to give up junk food. You gave up junk food because you're getting obesity. Body is growing in all 4 directions. Too much. Then doctor told you to give up. You gave up. But then you go to relative's house, they are having burger, pastries, pizza and all those things. So when you see that, although you have given up, how many of you feel there is a possibility of a temptation? Correct? Yeah, that's the meaning. That means you have given up, but the taste for it is not gone. Whereas meat, you have given up and you have lost the taste for it also. You know the difference, understand the difference. So, when you lose the taste for something, then you are liberated. But more than liberation is absorption in the Lord. Therefore, the bhakti not only awards liberation, bhakti awards remembrance of Lord's pastimes and everything. That was his state. So, he was having internal purity and external indifference. That's why he behaved like a mad and mute and blind and deaf person. Just to protect his bhakti. That was his intention. Yeah. See, basically we are learning guard your bhakti. Even if you are advanced devotee, you should be careful. Srila Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur was approached by one of his famous disciples' wife. She wanted to talk to Guru. She was just, young woman. She was about 20 years or so. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was like 60. He is fit enough to be like a father or grandfather. So he said, you have to come with your husband if you want to talk to me. She said, it's about the husband only. I have to talk to you. He said, no. Let him come, even if it is about him. Let him understand. But I cannot meet any woman alone. He refused. That's a standard. You had that gold standard. We call it as a rule of three. Rule of three means if a male and female have to talk, there has to be another male person watching it. Similarly, you are having any communication in email or something. If you are communicating with a female, there should be a male, another person also, third person. So somebody may say, no, no, I am very senior, I am very advanced. No. People who are more advanced than you and me have fallen down. In this world we have seen. Even sannyasis at 75, 80 can fall also. There are people who have fallen down. We should not take for granted. We have to strictly adhere to this rule. Vigilance is required. Because even if we are advanced for many years, we should not fall down in later years also. Till the last breath. Till the last breath. Shaknoti haiva yasodam praksharira vimokshanat. Krishna says, till last breath, one should control the anger and lust. Two things he says. So that's why, even after making a lot of progress, he was vigilant. Yeah. See, think about these things. See here. Bad association can ruin our spiritual life. Therefore, I told you about choosing not only friends. I told you, choose good, devotee friends and devotional ambience and devotional habits. Correct, no? So, yeah. See, bhakti protects from our karma and also fall down also. And how? I told you 3 levels. In this lower level of renunciation, you just give up the bad things. Then when you become more advanced in your renunciation, you get liberated from them. You lose taste for them. But losing taste for bad things is not the ultimate. Like for example, don't see bad, don't hear bad, don't speak bad. That is the just giving up things externally. But higher than that is, even if your eyes are open, ears are open, and your mouth is open, you don't indulge in them knowing the danger, you are liberated from them. You will lose taste from them. But that is also going from negative axis to 0, 0. But the positive axis is absorbing our mind in Shravanam, Kirtanam, Guna Vivarana. Shravana, Kirtana, Guna Vivarana. So that is the real platform, because then you become absorbed in the Lord. So another interesting point is mentioned here. External simplicity helps inner focus. So therefore reduce unnecessary social entanglement. You see, people generally eat food which they don't show to anybody. But when they wear a dress, they want to show to others. Correct, no? We wear dress to show off to others. We eat food for our nourishment. Correct, no? So, but when you show off to others, one more thing happens that very much affects your mind. You become very conscious what people are thinking about my dress. Say, like some people come to temple with a very gaudy dress. They come like that. You've seen that? Like a fairy or like some angel has come. When they come, you wonder whether they are coming to take darshan of Lord or give darshan to people, correct, no? So if you're coming and giving darshan to others like that, but their consciousness will be very much affected by that dress. One lady was wearing that type of sari, some kind of some see-through sari she was wearing. And she was going on the road, everybody was looking at her. And she was thinking, this new sari I'm wearing, it looks too much gorgeous, very attractive. I think everybody is looking at me. But when she went home and looked in the mirror, she saw her bindi was here. Instead of here, everybody was looking at her. Hey, why are you wearing your bindi here? They were thinking. But she was thinking, everybody is attracted to my dress. So, that's why he's saying external simplicity means, how you dress, how you live your lifestyle. So, the more we adopt the life of simplicity in eating habit, in our lifestyle habits, in our dressing habit, and in your activities that you go through daily. For example, if you wear clothes, you can cover your body. If you wear branded clothes, you want to show off, and also it's very costly also. If you want a car, simple car would take you from one place to another. But if you want a costly car, you have to invest a lot of money in that. Correct, no? Similarly, if you want a house to live near the temple in this area is very costly. You can take a small house, live near the temple, come for Mangalarti every day. You can come. Isn't it? But somebody says, if I take a house in the outskirts of Hyderabad, I get a big bungalow, independent villa. Only thing is you can't come for the morning program here. And it will be very far away. So your body can get comfort, but the soul will not get liberated. Here the soul can get comfort, the body may have to accept some discomfort. You understand the point, what I am saying? So this Grihasthas will understand it very easily. Close to temple, you get a small house. The outskirts, you get a big bungalow. Same amount of rent. Money spent is same only. But it depends on what you want in life. You want good association while accepting little physical discomfort, or you want physical comfort and come once in a week or once in a month to temple. Correct, no? That's why he's saying external simplicity helps in inner focus in spiritual life. So reduce unnecessary social entanglement. Another meaning of social entanglement means going for every party, birthday party, kitty party, so many parties. And also socializing too much with people on phone. This WhatsApp chat kills people's time. People chat for sometimes 4 hours and they still say my chanting is not over. My chanting is remaining. Why chanting is remaining? Because you are chatting. That's the reason. Yeah. But if we avoid unnecessary chatting with people, keep it very brief. Up to the point, what is the need for unnecessary gossip? There's rumor mongering, gossiping, fault finding, blaspheming, debating, arguing, pushing one's opinion on others. These are all things which waste our time. And also social entanglement include going for too many occasions. In the name of friendship and relationship with relatives, people go for so many social functions. That takes away time. So external simplicity helps inner focus. If you reduce such social engagements, you get more time for Krishna. So don't be overconfident, be vigilant. That I already told you about healthy fear. Correct, no? Healthy fear we need. So Jadabharata had that healthy fear. He avoided. I'll tell you one story of healthy fear. In Srirangam, daily in the morning, 5 o'clock, they bring one cow and an elephant in front of the Ranganath's temple altar. Thousands of people are gathered. And the elephant will lift his trunk and loudly shout, Ranga! Like that he will shout. They trained him like that. You know? So I have also seen it whenever I went to Srirangam. One day, the husband and wife elephants, they were taken to a pond to take bath. Their body was dried and then the nice velvet cloth they put on the top. They put nice tilaks. You have seen that beautiful tilak they put, forehead and body and everything. And they have a nice bell. They were ringing the bell, dong, dong, moving their head and walking. And the elephants were coming on the road majestically, going to welcome the Lord in Mangalarti time at 5 o'clock there. So on the way, there was a husband-wife pigs living in a gutter. So the husband was just newly wedded, I think newly wedded couple. So the pig wanted to show his strength to his wife, was looking for some opponent with whom he can fight. So then both these husband-wife pigs came out of the ditch. Their body was smeared with stool and dirty stuff from the ditch, all dripping in their body. They both came out. And then as soon as the two elephants came nearby, suddenly, unexpectedly, the pig husband, he confronted the elephant. He asked, hey, are you ready for a stunt with me? Like that he asked. And this elephant, when he looked at the pig, he took 2-3 steps behind and said, sorry, I'm not ready, he said. And the pig laughed like anything. Ha ha ha, he laughed at him. And he told his wife, just see how strong I am. Even the elephant is afraid of me. And his wife said, oh, you're really smart. She was telling. But the elephant's wife got offended. She had an ego problem. Then both the elephants went like this inside. And then they went in the side slowly. Then the wife became morose of the elephant. She said, what is this? Your body is very huge, but you have no confidence. Look at the pig. He is small, but his confidence is very high. Huh? And then the husband elephant told her, see, wait a minute. You can conclude whatever you want about me, but first you listen to me, he said. The elephant said, see, we are going for welcoming the Lord at 5 a.m. If this pig comes and fights with me, my whole body will become smeared with stool and everything. Then I have to again go for bathing. By the time I come back, it will be 6 o'clock. Huh? Again, I have to wear another fresh dress and everything. What is important for us? Lord's seva is important, or picking up some ego clash with somebody is important. I decided better focus on Lord's service. That's why I said I'm not ready. Neither he said. And he said, even Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami also, when Rup Narayan came to Vrindavan, and he wanted Digvijay Pandit to prove his greatness, they said, you are a great soul, what do you want from us? Tell us. He said, here is a patrika, you have to sign that you are defeated by me. Rup Sanatan said, bring it here. They signed and said, now you go. You are happy you have defeated us? Go, carry on. They didn't go for fighting. So the elephant said, I am simply following in Rupa Goswami's footsteps. You know, because great souls unnecessarily don't waste time in prajalpa and useless arguments. So when the wife heard it, she said, no, now I understand why you did what you did. You are really smart, because you never want to compromise on Lord's service. You smartly transcended the dualities. The duality is dishonor. The dishonor came your way, but you went above it by taking shelter of the Lord and the pure devotees. That is real smartness. Foolish jivas, even foolish devotees, sometimes get into quarrel and clashes with fellow other devotees, and they waste a lot of time in fighting and quarreling and writing mails and writing messages and everything like that. So that is why one should know how we can keep ourselves aloof from bad association. So in this way, he avoided unnecessary social entanglement. Who? The elephant. Correct? You focused on Lord's service. So don't be overconfident, be vigilant. Stay humble and avoid show off, he says. Yeah. And Lord's mercy is the key. Pray sincerely for protection from Maya. So once Prabhupada was sitting in the Vyasasana and said that, I can never fall down, Prabhupada said. After that he was praying to Srimati Radharani, oh Radharani, Supreme Mother of the whole universe, please protect me from fall down. So one devotee asked Prabhupada, just now you said, Prabhupada, you will never fall down, then why should you pray to Radharani like this? Prabhupada said, what are you talking? Because I am always praying to her like this, I can always remain safe. That's how our protection is in Lord's mercy. It's not by our own material determination. Material determination can go on for a while, after that we will be not. So Antaranga Shakti, shelter, from there it comes. So in this way, these are some reflection questions for homework. You would like to think about these questions? Who has the mic with you? Read that. Where is the mic? What are the subtle forms of association in our lives that may be pulling us away from remembrance of Krishna? Correct, no? See, gross forms of bad association you can easily see. This is bad. I don't think any of our devotees will enter into a liquor shop or a meat shop or anything. That's a gross bad association. But anybody can give some examples of subtle bad association? Anybody? Something can come like not so bad, but then it is subtle. Eventually you come to understand it is bad association. He's saying contemplating on the material opulence. He's saying. Like one of your friends may come and say that, I am going for this, I am going for that, I am enjoying this, I am enjoying that. And one may think, oh, he is doing that, he is going for that. If I go, then I will also be happy. One may say, Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya apharchitsam. Actually, materialistic association increases material greed in your heart. They instill laulyam in you. Like sometimes one parent may come to another parent and say, what's your son doing? You may say, Oh, he got a job here in Bangalore. Oh, really? Our son went to America. No. How much is your son earning? He's earning X amount. Our son is earning 5X. You know. Hey, why don't you send your son also there? And like that they say. And then they also go and tell their son, hey, now you go to America now. And the boy goes to America, and then later years, when the parents are 80 years old, and they're calling the son back, he doesn't want to come. He says, I've taken a green card and settled, I'll send you dollar notes to you. I'm unable to come. And parents also don't want to go there, and they are unable to get the son here. And then they wonder, who told us to send him abroad? Then they realize, I heard my friend. So why am I saying this? Actually, bad association will impel us to make wrong choices. Like Mantra made Kaikeyi make a wrong choice. Just see, isn't it? So, therefore, the subtle forms of association in our lives, that should be avoided. Second question?
Are we too relaxed in our social dealings? Could it lead us to compromise our bhakti?
Yeah. So, how relaxed and how casual are you in your social dealings? For example, if you're a student, if you hang around with your student friends in the college, in a classroom when some period is cancelled, many people talk all rubbish. They don't have anything valuable to share. Immediately go to library. Go and do some study. Don't waste time. Unnecessary social dealings with materialists should be avoided. That will spoil our bhakti. So, we can see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refusing to meet Prataparudra, correct now? King Prataparudra, that's the main reason. Mahaprabhu says he didn't want to get into social dealings with kings because kings are always surrounded by women and money. So he was very alert and cautious. So, and also Mahaprabhu saw Sanatana Goswami having a very costly blanket, although he was a renunciate. His brother-in-law had given, he was carrying. Mahaprabhu was staring at it. Then he went and gave it to one beggar in the bank of Ganga, and he took a torn quilt and brought, and Mahaprabhu became happy. That means Mahaprabhu taught simplicity, and also he taught avoiding bad association. Both he taught. And we should not be relaxed in our social dealings. If you go to your canteen with your friend, you may say, I just went to talk to the friend. I will not eat anything, but they'll force you to eat or force you to drink something. Now let me tell you another example. Like one time, recently when I was in America, I take prasad morning and evening. Morning 10 o'clock and evening 4 o'clock. So, in one place there were proper disciples were there. They asked, if Radheshyam want to join us for prasad, you can join. Welcome. So the host was telling me, Prabhuji, because you are getting good association, so can you also eat with them? I said, let them eat, I will come after they eat. I said, after they finish. Or they said, maybe you can meet them before eating. They asked me. I said, no. After they finish, I will come. Anybody knows why? I said, because if I go at 12 o'clock, 12 to 1 I am talking to them. Now I want to leave. Will they leave me? They will say, we are going to eat lunch, so you also take. Now it's difficult for you to say no. Then to give them company, any of your experience, to give somebody company you ate, later on you suffered? Anybody has experience? Yeah. In India it becomes very difficult to say no. People will sentimentally attack you. They will say that, see, we are all taking at least 2 samosas, at least. You may say, just now I am finished. They will say, no problem, take it. No problem. So therefore, we should not be too relaxed in our social dealings. Third,
how can I increase my internal absorption in Krishna despite external distractions?
Yeah. External distraction you cannot change, but internal absorption can be changed. So therefore, Shravanam, Kirtanam and Guna Vivarana, we're discussing, if you increase that, then our internal absorption can be made. It's exactly like turning milk into butter. From milk, you get dahi, curd, and curd you make butter. Consciousness becomes like butter. It will not touch water. But without making consciousness like butter, if we keep our minds like milk, then more water of bad external distractions come, the milk will become diluted. Because you keep on adding water to milk, what happens? The milk becomes thinner and thinner and thinner. But if you convert milk into butter type consciousness, how? By sadhana. By sadhana and shravana, kirtana, and smarana. These are activities which make us withdraw from the external consciousness. Yeah, and then?
Do I behave like a sincere sadhaka inwardly, or am I more concerned with public image?
Yeah, this is a very important thing. Do we want to look saintly or we want to be truly saintly? Is the question. You want to appear saintly or you want to be genuinely saintly? Which will attract Krishna? Yeah, we need genuine saintliness. Saintliness is not only somebody wearing saffron clothes. Kunti is a woman, she is saintly. Prahlad is a child, he is saintly. Now, Vritarasura, he was a pure devotee, externally having body of a asura. Prahlad, Bali Maharaj, Vibhishan, they were externally appearing like demons, but in the heart they were devotees. So that is what we want. Inwardly, we want to be a sincere sadhaka, not just the external public image in the eyes of people. So these reflection questions are very valuable for us to sit and contemplate. Many students ask how to contemplate. This is the way we contemplate. When we think about application of these teachings in our personal life and the application in others' lives, when we see it will be more easy. So from Jada Bharata, in today's purport, we learned, these are the things we learned. First we learned about the power of remembrance, smarana, guna vivarana. And then hearing, remembering, makes our mind become absorbed. And then secondly, we learned about fear of bad association. Brisham Uddvijamana. Avoiding bad association. So, actually, one should fear bad association. He says, Prahlad Maharaj, Trastos Meham Kripana Vatsaladus Sahogra Samsara Chakra Kadanad Grasatam Pranita Baddasva Karma Virushattamate Moolam Pritopavarga Sharanam Vayase Kadanu. First line he says, Trastos Meham, I am afraid. He says, of what? I am afraid of hearing the criticism spoken by non-devotees against the Supreme Lord. Because their hearts are polluted, the non-devotees always talk ill of the Lord, and that is piercing the ears of Prahlad. Otherwise, I have no other fear, he says. That I don't want to have bad, because he was living in the midst of the demons. The demoniac teachers were telling him, this chanting, what is this chanting? Keep it up. You should chant your father's name. Don't chant God's name. So I don't want to hear such criticism about the Lord. That's what I am fear. And then what I don't fear, he said, Naham bivem machitateti bhayanakasya jihvarka netra briguti rabasogra damstrat antrasraja kshatachake sharashanku karna nirhrada bhita digibha haribhinnakagrat. He is saying that, oh Lord Narasimha, your mane soaked with blood and your sharp cutting tool like nails, and your ears and stiff neck, and your eyes like sun and moon, and your hairs which are dissipating the clouds. This doesn't cause me any fear, he says, because you are a personified love. So we also should develop fear of bad association. That's the point. So, and then one point was about even, we may say, oh, I avoid bad people and all, but we may be attached to our svajana. We have a circle of friends, circle of family, relatives, friends, everybody. If you can make family and friends to become devotees, it's great. Otherwise, you have to do your duty for them. At the same time, not take their bad association. Like for example, one boy comes from a home where everybody eats meat, but he doesn't eat meat. He doesn't criticize them. He tried to preach to them, they are not listening, but he will not eat. So don't take bad association. And then, and then karma bandha vidvamsana, breaking the bondage. So That's actually hearing and chanting about the Lord will give us internal purity and external indifference. That's the secret actually. And we become free from the material bondage. We go beyond the gross and subtle coverings. So guard your bhakti. Don't judge people by externals. Value solitude and introspection. Sometimes stepping back from, by, abundant external activities and deepening our connection with Krishna is valuable. Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. It's already time up, I think. If anybody has a question, I can answer you personally. It's getting late for you. I can be here for 5 minutes, okay? Hari Bol.